Hello, welcome to another episode of AI Spotlight Show. We are live here at IAA Mobility here in the city of Munich, Germany. Today is the second day of the summit and it has been amazing. We've had a lot of keynote speakers that have talked about what kind of innovation they are performing in the area of automobile industry. We have seen a lot of innovation when it comes to mobility and also in the automobile industry. And today we'll be featuring another organization that will be telling us what kind of AI solution they are building and developing to help support the automobile industry. And who do we have the opportunity of speaking with today?
Hi, I'm John Heinlein. I'm Chief Marketing Officer with Sonatus.
Thank you so much for joining us on this episode. Can you tell our audience a brief about us, about Sonatus?
Sure. Sonatus is a Silicon Valley-based automotive software company. All we make is software. And we're helping to accelerate the transition of the industry to software-defined vehicles, which is a big term in the industry. But as we come to the AI revolution, software-defined vehicles is the perfect platform, the perfect foundation on which you can build AI-based capabilities. As companies are shifting towards putting software in their vehicles, they need to put in things like vehicle network services and managing a lot of data that vehicles create and helping to manage different applications as they're in vehicles. And so what we provide is not some single solution. We're not providing one application or one IVI thing. Actually, we're providing a whole platform of solutions that help OEMs make their vehicles more adaptable, more programmable, more updatable, and have AI, which is the blue part.
Wow, that is really amazing. Now, let us deep dive into the specific AI products that are available on the platform that this OEM organization can integrate into their vehicle.
Absolutely. So one of the things we talked about is the importance of vehicle data.
Okay.
So what Sonatus does is we have a combination of cloud software here above the line that the OEM engineer would use to manage, to help to use the tools for their use, and then things that run inside the vehicle. So one example is our collector product. Our collector product allows OEMs to capture specific data about vehicles. That might be to diagnose a problem, improve the service experience, do future vehicle planning. We've recently rolled out AI in this product. So for example, a product manager in an OEM could use natural language to do a query like, tell me how the sunroof is being used by my customers in the current model and what conditions. And it can do a calculation and do a custom data query to vehicles to help future vehicle planning. Our automator product is similar, where we allow an OEM engineer to do rapid prototyping of new capabilities. Maybe they want to try out a new feature, or they want to deploy pet mode in their vehicle, or some new capability. They can do it more rapidly with less programming and more easily, and also AI in the same way can help them program it more rapidly. But this past year, we rolled out two exciting new solutions, which I'll show you in the next part of our demonstration. The first is AI Technician. AI Technician recognizes that today the service experience of most vehicles is really poor. Maybe you have a problem with your vehicle. It makes some noise or the engine's running strange, but you can't always reproduce the problem. AI Technician is helping to, you could ask as a driver or as a service technician, help me understand what's going on. And it can query the vehicle data to help understand what's happening and give a better answer and improve the service experience. I can show you that demonstration in a little bit. And then just last week, we announced our brand new AI Director solution. And what Director does is allows OEMs to not only use AI in the cloud, but also to deploy AI into the vehicle for things like analytics and performance improvement. Think about improving performance efficiency of your vehicle, whether it's a gasoline-powered engine or an electric engine. That is an ongoing, continuous process as science learns new things and learns new optimizations. You'd love to be able to put AI algorithms into the vehicle to monitor it and say, aha, I see we can do some performance improvement, or put AI into the vehicle to diagnose problems. Because imagine you know a really expert mechanic, and he looks at a vehicle and he puts his ear down and he says, I know what's wrong. That's what AI does. You can put an AI model into a vehicle that doesn't look at one thing or this other thing, but it looks at many things and says, I see a pattern, I see a problem. So we're helping to deploy AI into the vehicles to do things like performance tuning and diagnostics and optimization. It's very powerful. And I'm going to show you a demonstration of technician and AI director in our interview today.
Yep, that is really amazing. I have a few questions. When it comes to building an AI technology, there's a life cycle it has to pass through.
Yeah.
And one aspect of the life cycle has to do with the collection of data. And that is why this collector AI service, I see data collection catch my attention. And can you talk about how that data is being collected and how it's being stored? And the next question would be, this data that has been collected, can it be used to fine-tune a model or to train a model?
It's a great question. I mean, the first thing to understand is when we look at this data, Sonatus is not collecting this data. One big important question in the industry right now is data privacy. We're here in Europe, they have special data privacy laws.
Yeah.
We're helping to provide the OEM a toolkit to collect the data for their uses, but they're always complying with the user's individual opt-in preferences and any local laws.
Okay.
But exactly as you say, as you want to collect data to help train a model, today some OEMs may have a data collection solution that they've already installed in their vehicle. That's great. In many cases, their data collection solution might be general purpose and it just collects the same 100 signals every 2 seconds, but that may not be enough to train a model. Our solution allows you to ask a very specific question that can capture the specific data needed to train an AI model, for example.
Wow, that is amazing. And I like one important point that you kind of raised. I think what you're trying to say is Sonatus creates a platform where the data that is being collected comply with the EU regulation to ensure the safety of those data, to ensure the privacy of those data.
Let me give you one example.
Yeah.
You're exactly right. But one example is when you buy a new car, one of the first things that happen and you come to the dealer, the car is going to ask you, for example, do you want to share your data to the dealer for improvement of your car? Do you want to share the data for service? And you can say yes, you can say no. One of the capabilities of our tool is because of your individual preferences, we make it easy for the OEM to turn on or off data collection based on your particular preferences. So we're allowing the OEM to comply with both laws and also individual drivers' preferences.
Wow, that is amazing. I have a follow-up question regarding the AI Director Cloud that gives the OEM the option of deploying model into the vehicle for whatever purpose they want to, use the model to perform. In terms of, does the platform give them the option to select a model of their choice?
Absolutely, and we'll show you a deep demonstration of that. The idea is we're not making specific models. We might make some models, but the reality is there's so many innovators from across the industry, many of them here at the show, and we're making it easy for them to bring their models into a vehicle and connect them to the data they need to run the model in the vehicle, and we'll show you some specific examples of that a little later.
Okay, great. Do you mind if we talk about the Automator AI?
Sure. Automator is a platform that allows OEMs to create new capabilities, new automations. It could be as simple as providing a driver a notification when something comes up. It could be linking with a smart home capability. Or it could go so far as to allow OEMs to do rapid prototyping of a new capability. We showed a demonstration at CES last year where when an OEM has a great new idea for a feature, they could try it out and prototype it using our platform very quickly, demonstrate it, beta test it, or even deploy it to their customers for rapid response.
Wow. That means the Sonatus platform make it easy for organizations to build AI technology and deploy it faster, quickly.
That's exactly right.
Wow. Now, before we go into the use case or the demo section, one question I want to ask is, how does the car owner benefit from these AI technology that are being deployed by the OEM, powered by the Sonatus AI platform, in terms from a user interface perspective?
Sure. Well, the user interface is a broad set of things. So, for example, one thing we can do is think about AI in Director. One of the things, as you're in EVs now, some of the senior leaders at EV makers have challenged their engineers. They say, I would like you, Mr. Engineer, to make sure every year we improve the vehicle efficiency by a few percent.
Okay.
Because maybe the battery decreases by a few percent every year. So say your mission, Mr. Engineer, is to find 3% or 5% or whatever efficiency improvement in the vehicle every year to offset the battery loss. So the vehicle you buy stays as good the whole time.
Okay.
You can use AI innovations to provide that. So it's not like there's a new button on the screen,
Yes.
but you as a driver have a vehicle that maintains its value and maintains its range over time.
Wow.
Or for example, an example I'll show you with AI Technician is maybe you have a problem with your vehicle, or maybe there's a potential recall. One of the things about recall that's very annoying is maybe 10,000 vehicles get recalled, but actually only 50 vehicles have the actual problem. Wouldn't it be great if I could have 9,950 people that don't have to take their vehicle to a shop, and you only bring the 50 people who have a problem? Maybe we can detect that with the AI Technician and Collector so that the user experience and the driver experience is much better.
Wow, that is great. Let's go ahead and see the demo for these specific products.
Let's do it.
Okay, great.
So this is Sonatus AI Technician.
Okay.
And the first of the two demonstrations we'll show you today. One of the observations is today the vehicle service experience is very poor. Let's say you have a problem with your vehicle where maybe it's making a noise, or maybe the engine is acting funny in certain conditions. But let's say you take it into the service shop. The first thing they need to do is try to reproduce the problem. But maybe it only happens when the engine's cold. You have to leave the vehicle overnight. Or maybe it only happens sometimes. Maybe they can't reproduce the problem. You end up with a bad service experience and you have to come back. Maybe you're out of your car for a day and they can't even fix the problem. AI can do it in a better way. We're going to use AI to not only monitor for problems and help to better understand what's going wrong. So the thing about it is, today, if you were to just use Google or even maybe ChatGPT, an AI model, and ask what's wrong with your vehicle, you're going to get a generic answer that's not specific to your vehicle or even your vehicle model. But we can do much better. With AI, we can create a custom large language model based on not only the owner's manual, yes, but we're not just talking about digitizing the owner's manual. We mean also including OEM-specific data like the vehicle and fleet-wide history, the knowledge base from the OEM, even maybe factory service manuals. But even more importantly, real-time vehicle data from the actual vehicle to help understand what's going wrong. Our Sonatus Collector platform can enable you to get real insights from that vehicle. Then once you're done, and your podcast is all about AI, so you understand that when you have an AI language model, you can then give it what they call a persona. You can say, for example, you should be an expert, or you should be providing basic information. So this same database of information can be provided, for example, to the driver. Well, maybe there you want to use less technical words. You want to be so that, your mom could understand, easy to understand. But you can also take that same database and say, but make something for the service technician who understands exactly this module and this wire and this specification, detailed things, or even the OEM engineer who might want to understand how they can improve their vehicle for the future. So let's imagine a situation where your vehicle is running rough. And to do this demonstration, we created a database like this for a production vehicle that incorporates our technology. And I personally took the vehicle and I unplugged a spark plug wire. So the engine was running a little rough. But actually, you would say, well, there's lots of solutions like that in the marketplace. If it generates a fault code, I will know what's wrong. Well, it turns out this vehicle is very resilient. It didn't even generate a fault code because it still had other cylinders. It was able to operate fine. But yet there was still a problem. So let's look at what this looks like. Imagine you had a chat experience like this, and you simply asked it, why is my engine running rough? So now it's going to query all these data sources it has, the knowledge base of what could be wrong, and it's even going to ask the actual data about this vehicle and come back and give us a recommendation about what's going on. Now this is recorded, of course, but this was done from a live vehicle earlier. It says, yes, indeed, I see there's problems. I see there's problems with abnormal engine RPMs, but yet there's no trouble codes from the vehicle. There could be a number of problems. The spark plug, which in fact there was because I pulled the spark plug wire, or it could be other mechanical issues. But what's interesting about this is it can look inside the vehicle data specifically, and it can see actually that there was an indication of abnormal RPM data from the vehicle. There it is. And I'm going to show you how we generated that information in our next demonstration.
Wow.
So from there, the driver wants to know, okay, well, that's fine, good to know, but do I have to tow it to the shop right now, or could I still drive the vehicle? So now it's going to do some further inquiry to say how bad is the problem, how systemic is the problem,
Okay.
and it's going to detect a few other things that were wrong with the vehicle, not about the engine. Like, for example, there's a tire pressure monitor you should get fixed, and by the way, your ABS sensor has a fault.
Okay.
We really recommend you get serviced right away, and it's going to help us to schedule a service visit with the dealer. So now, as a driver, you have a better experience because you get a service visit scheduled right away. But even more exciting, and here's my favorite part, once we schedule the service visit, because you described the problem, our technology is now going to deploy a custom monitoring policy into your vehicle to watch for this problem between now and your service visit. So now when you drive into the service bay, not only are they not going to say, well, go and wait while we try to reproduce the problem, they're going to say, hey, Henry, thank you for being here. We've been watching your data. We know exactly the problem. We have the part ready for you, and it'll be done very quickly the first time.
Wow.
That's a great service experience.
Wow. Wow. Yeah. To be honest, the AI technology technician builder has a lot of capability, and I don't know if this is actually market disruption for the local technician. Yeah,
but think about this. When you look at the marketplace today, cars are becoming so complicated.
Yeah.
It's actually very difficult for dealers to find qualified technicians to diagnose the problem. So imagine you had this same infrastructure, and now you provided a better service manual that was like an AI-based service manual for vehicles.
Yeah.
I mean, every OEM has a digital manual for their technicians.
Yeah.
But the problem is, generally speaking, they provide, if you see this situation, do this. If you see this situation, do that. But of course, the situations might be very complicated.
Yeah.
This can use the power of AI to help the technicians be more efficient and help the dealers to find great technicians.
Wow. That is really amazing. Then, is there any point that you think this AI technician will not be able to maybe respond to some questions?
Of course. It's not to say that AI can solve every problem.
Yeah.
But by being more specific and have data about the actual vehicle, it has a better chance of understanding what's exactly the problem versus a generic situation where it doesn't have that knowledge. No one is saying that AI can solve every problem, but it'll make a step forward. Of course, AI is getting smarter all the time.
Yes.
So we think as the technology continues to evolve, it can cover more and more situations.
Great. And I don't know if you can answer this, but are there some kind of guardrails in place to ensure that the outputs provided by this AI technician builder are, so that it doesn't spit out some kind of hallucination?
Of course.
Yeah, are there guardrails in place?
It's an important question, and that's where the OEMs, every OEM will be in a different place here. OEMs might decide that they really want to expose this directly to the driver.
Yeah.
Other OEMs may say, look, I love this technology, I love the diagnostics of it. Maybe it's not right for me to put it to the driver, but I want to put it to the technician because they have better knowledge.
Okay.
It's up to the OEM how they want to use this capability.
Yeah.
Likewise, they might decide to provide a full chat experience, or they might decide to use a different way to interact with the user. But still, being able to draw upon all these data sources is still a powerful capability. Hallucination is, of course, a big problem in the industry. All of us have to work to make sure the AI is based on strong data sources.
Yep.
And that's going to be a continuing journey in the years ahead.
Yep. Yeah, I think this looks amazing. We can look at the second product.
Let's go to the next product.
Yeah. And I would like to introduce our second speaker in this interview section with Sonatus AI. We just spoke with John, where he walked us through the AI product offering that are available on the Sonatus AI platform. We'll talk about the architecture itself, where we look at the AI data collector, and over there we'll look at the AI technician builder, and we're able to assess some of its capabilities, how it's going to help different OEM to be able to integrate these features into their vehicles, most especially for the end users. And now we'll be exploring another product where another representative of the organization will be telling us about the AI, the Sonatus AI director. And who do we have the opportunity of speaking with?
Yeah, I'm Steve Stoddard. I'm the product manager for AI Director.
Okay. Do you want to walk us through?
Sure. So AI Director is a new product that we're launching here at IAA.
Okay.
And it really is about delivering AI across the spectrum, from basic statistical packages to physics-based models, traditional ML, neural networks, and even LLMs into the vehicle. So you can deliver AI into the vehicle, run your models there, and sort of by contrast to the AI technician, you could actually detect anomalies in the vehicle side before you pass those to the cloud for further analysis.
Well, great. Do you want to talk about maybe specific capabilities of the product, maybe from a UI perspective?
Sure.
You're a product manager addition.
Sure, absolutely. So one of the challenges we see with delivering AI in the vehicle is that there's a lot of tools that exist very well for the cloud to develop and train models, but when you want to deploy into the embedded device, typical IoT devices are very homogeneous. So you have a specific model that you want to go into, it has a specific hardware, and so you can optimize for that kind of one time and you're good to go. The problem with automotive and vehicles is that I have many different vehicles where I'm not only deploying to an embedded device, I'm deploying to an embedded network. So I have many different ECUs, many other different capabilities of the hardware, as well as the different data access for that hardware as well, which is one of the challenges we think we encounter with our customers, is that when I deploy a model, I need to make sure I give it the right data. And so our platform basically enables a customer, when they're want to bring in the model, they can simply connect it up and say, this is the data that it needs to connect to, and we abstract it away for them. So we can take care of the connection into the vehicle data side and also manage the execution so that they don't use too many resources.
Wow, that is amazing. And in terms of, one thing that is paramount in terms of organization making decision to use AI enabling platform is the trustworthiness of the platform.
Absolutely.
Then how you as a product manager, what can you talk about responsible AI being incorporated into the design of these products?
Yeah, absolutely. So observability into AI is really important, regardless of whether we're talking about LLMs, which is kind of where a lot of this more recently has come up, right? You think about hallucination, and I don't really know where the answer is coming from. So while LLMs certainly are an application you can deploy using our platform, everything from the traditional ML and neural networks is also available as well. So you can choose to deploy a model that has a little bit more observability by nature. It could be physics-based, a pure scripted, something you might develop in Simulink as well. And so in that case, you kind of have a really good idea of like how it's developing and coming up with its outputs. The other aspect is when we deploy, we're always providing access to, you can monitor the resource usage as well as the inputs and the outputs. So when I collect that data back into the cloud as a OEM, I can see these are my inputs and my output was this. Why did it end up doing that? So I can go and do that analysis after the fact to make sure I understand why. Another factor that is coming in as well is the ability to see, when I have a certain output, what are the key inputs that are most driving the output to end up with that result. And that's another technique that's coming into AI more commonly. And so we're typically deploying our models or our partners' models with those capabilities as well.
Wow, great. What will you describe as the benefit of OEM partners, going for the Sonatus AI director to build that AI robust capabilities on their vehicles?
Yeah, definitely. So I may actually, if I may, I'll
definitely
come into the platform here.
Yeah.
So this is kind of an overall picture of the overall workflow. I mentioned some of this already, but I wanted to step into what does it kind of look like to implement this into a vehicle.
Okay.
So for us, what we think for an OEM is, number one, you can bring your own model, use the tool chain that you like to use to develop that, or we've worked with some model vendors as partners to launch this. Very easy to access those models as well. The real key is when I'm ready to deploy it into a vehicle, I bring it into the Sonatus platform. I use a very easy to use template to import that model. So it kind of follows that, takes all the pain and difficulty of that away from them. And then when I want to deploy it into the vehicle, I can simply say, I want to go to this vehicle, this ECU, and then we'll do that mapping for you. So you do the integration one time when you first set it up, and then you say, this is the data that's going to go to that model. I can deploy it into vehicle 1 in this ECU. Very easy to then replicate into a different vehicle, into a different ECU, or even a different version of the same model, for example. So ideally taking that away so that you don't have to continuously custom develop the integration steps every time you want to deploy that model. So really it makes it a lot easier and removes a lot of those barriers in order to actually deploy the models into the vehicle.
Wow, that is amazing. This is a very technical question, and probably I'm asking this question because we're a product manager. Is there a time when you guys are working with an OEM and there's some kind of difficulty of integrating this platform into their platform because maybe they are using an old-based legacy system? How were you guys able to, come up with a solution for that?
Yeah. So this product is a new product we're launching now. So I can speak to you more generally about that kind of instance. In fact, when we've designed this, everything what we're building the demos here, what we've shown here at IAA, actually we are running in fact on legacy hardware. So it's there's a lot of good solutions out there for ADAS and very high powered PCs or ECUs in the vehicle. But we think that a lot of the more legacy or telemetry-based AI, which you could really develop, isn't served that well. And so that's specifically what we're targeting with this kind of application.
Wow, I think that is amazing. Then, last question. What benefits with OEM partners derive from using the AI Director Cloud platform? Maybe like 3-4 benefits.
Yeah, absolutely. I'll step out here as we've launched the product here. We have several different partners throughout this process. So on the silicon side, we have NXP is a very good partner of ours. We've optimized some of these models with the model partners using their workflow. So a lot of the silicon vendors have their own tool chains to optimize the models. That can be difficult to use sometimes. And so through our integrations, we make it easier to integrate with those optimization processes for the specific silicon they want to deploy to. In the other case with some of the model partners, they've developed some very interesting use cases and solutions for those. For example, Compredict, our partner here, is a virtual sensor company. So they've deployed a model that eliminates the need to have a ride height sensor. So this is a headlight leveling application where there's a new EU regulation starting in 2027 requiring automated headlight adjustment. So in that case, you could get rid of the physical sensor and just deploy this model to have a virtual sensor and do that for you automatically, save a little bit of cost on your bill of materials. So I think that's a good benefit for an OEM. Similarly, for Qnovo, they're a BMS partner of ours. They're doing battery models and really can bring better insights into what's going on with the battery. One of the main challenges for OEMs as they move to electrification. So we're giving them greater access to vehicle signals within the vehicle. And then with VIC-1, the ability to bring some of the LLM and protect the user's privacy in the vehicle rather than sending all that data to the cloud. So a lot of the case, the benefit they get is from the specific use cases, but being able to deliver the value of those to their customers, either through lower cost or greater efficiencies and new features.
Wow, that's amazing. Thank you so much for joining this episode of AI Spotlight Show.
Thank you.
Wow, that is really amazing. We've been able to explore the different kinds of solutions that Sonatus provide to enable OEM build a vehicle that is embedded with AI features. Now, the platform has a lot of capability ranging from the AI technician builder down to the Sonatus AI Director. And as you can see, that the platform also gives organizations the option to bring in their own model, where if probably you have a preferred vendor that you want to work with, as you can see, they are partners with AWS. AWS are one of the largest, providers, cloud providers when it comes to AI technology. And they also work with other custom vendors who help to provide data in the automobile industry. Then if you do have any question as an OEM providers, you can kindly visit their website. And what's the website again?
It's www.sonatus.com.
Yep, you heard that correctly. And you can probably fill a form, or you can place a demo request, and definitely someone will reach out to you. We're still here at IAA Mobility here in the city of Munich, here in Germany. It's still the second day of the summit, and tomorrow we have some exciting speakers where they will be demoing and talking about what they are doing when it comes to integrating AI in the automobile space. My name still remains Harry Onowale, the executive producer. Talk to you guys soon. Stay tuned.